What I do when I go to a card show or a shop and I'm looking to buy some raw cards is I bring along a vintage common that I've had for a long time, one that I know has not been trimmed or altered. This is one that I've had in my collection since 1977. I pulled it out of a pack. And simply what I do is take a card like this that I might be looking to get at a show, which I bought this over the summer. I put the cards back to back and then put the card that I'm looking to assess right facing towards me. I simply just line up the edges to see if there's any type of evidence that this card is short. If there was, I would see parts of the Dave McKay card in the background. Now, you can see a little bit there, but if you squeeze these together, it does not look like it's been trimmed. It looks the same size as the McKay card. Now, is this a foolproof method? No, it's not. But if I was at a show and this card came out to where I could see the Dave McKay clearly, I would just take a pass on it. It wouldn't be worth the risk. But it's just simply a way to protect myself and give me a check. The reason this Brock card is a concern is most of the cards came out looking like this. This card was at the top left-hand corner of the printing sheet, so a lot of them come out miscut. So if we line up this card, what's interesting here is the top. Look how you can see the Dave McKay card over that. Do I think this Lou Brock card is trimmed? No, I've had it since 1980. It could just be the size tolerances that Topps had at the time. Could be a vending card. I'm not exactly sure. I don't believe someone would trim this card, especially back then. But if I'm at a card show and I'm assessing cards and find one that comes up like this, I'm just going to take a pass. It's really just not worth the risk. I'm looking for cards that really fit more fully. I'll give you a couple other examples. Here's some other 1969 cards that I've had for a long time. Just line them up and try, you want to maybe push the edges together. This one looks fine. Here's a Joe Rudy rookie card. This one also looks fine. You would see parts of the Dave McKay card showing. I can't tell you how many times I have read or heard of people who bought these cards back in the day at card shows, and then let's say 20 years later, they sent it off to PSA and it came back minimum size. So again, just a simple, easy, free way for you to assess these cards on the fly. Next, I want to talk about fakes. I don't think this is a huge problem as much anymore, but just to protect yourself if you're at a show, there's a couple things. Now, you can probably tell which one is not real. This white letter one here. The first tip-off, it says reproduction, but it's got a glossy feel to it, like a playing card. So it immediately just doesn't feel like a regular vintage card. But I'll show you a much better way. So this is a 10X jeweler's loupe that I got on Amazon for less than $10, and I'll put a link in the description. It's got a light on it, which is really helpful. And to look at these cards under magnification, you can easily tell the difference. So let's take a look. So this is the real card. Hopefully you can see it, but the way Topps printed these cards, there's these small individual dots, print dots. You can see it really pronounced on the back, but also in the blue. It's just super obvious when you're looking at these cards in real life. You can see it there on his forearms. So Topps printed these so that they're made up of these individual dots. When you go to the fake card, it just doesn't have that type of printing. These are printed off a computer or some other type of modern printing techniques. They just don't have the same dots in the makeup as the originals. Another way you can tell is with the lettering. Topps used ink that was really clear and bright and solid on these. The circle around, the lettering around the name and the first base. Whereas when you go to the fake, there's just like kind of a fuzziness to it. It just doesn't look as solid. It's probably hard to translate this to video, but when you have the loupe in front of you, it's real obvious. You can see in the lettering for Mickey, it's just kind of fuzzy. It doesn't have the clear definition that the real one does. With these two Ryans, the one on the left is a reproduction, but it's actually from Topps itself. When you look at it under magnification, you don't see the dots. Let's look at the original here, and you can see the individual dots making up Ryan's face and the hat. It's really those original dots in the printing technique that Topps used that is going to distinguish this card from the modern reproduction. Kind of hard to tell through a video lens, but it's real obvious when you have the loupe in front of you. This is also really helpful for looking at the details of these cards too, and you can see the corner and the damage to this corner as well. In fact, all the corners have it. Well, let me know if you have any questions. I don't pretend to be the expert on this. These are just some really quick and easy tips that you can use on the fly and to help you buy better cards and stay away from fakes and alterations. But I'd appreciate any tips or suggestions in the comments below. Thanks for watching.